What's going on, guys? We are back. We just got claimed our daily. Let me continue. I'm being forced to convert. Okay. Let's convert for the hand. Yeah. Okay. Well, we forced to convert after a while. I think we are like maxed out here. I mean, we did push like pretty far up. Let me see if I could stack some upgrades potentially. I don't think we'll need it anyway. DPS is going down anyway, so let's retreat out of here. But first, let's make sure we look at all the new stuff. Is there not an event? This event starts in 7 hours, so we're gonna put it on our own time. It doesn't start for like 7 hours, which is kind of crazy to go with like starting in a bad point. Okay. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm looking at something really quick. Let me try if I go back one and if I put on. Let's see if we could beat the boss. Okay. But we were on the idea of doing the other one. We'll get out of this. I don't think we'll beat it. Let me put some abilities towards it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna beat this at all. Yeah. There actually might be a chance to beat it. We get the abilities going, just potential to beat it, I think. Once we're causing like heavy damage. We do beat it, I think. Yeah, we actually do beat it. It's crazy. I'll take the gems, but I think we're gonna do a reset anyways. Yeah, we're gonna reset anyways just because we've been there for a while. So we unlocked Katy Bree, which was our next goal. And after Katy Bree, Esmeralda is our next one. Let's skip through it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So we got this one. There's also like other ones we could do now with that idea, but with our specific idea of a little bit of a guide, Esmeralda is the next one. We don't have anything else to do really. Let's get out of that. Alright guys, so weekly shop, we need to reveal our stuff. Nice, got some free chests. I'm assuming we didn't gain much of anything at all. And our biggest goal is to get like these guys. So our next spend is like 5k. We want to have all of the what's it called, pets and stuff. Mostly because we could put them on stuff to like automate a good amount. Other than that, we don't have anything to do here. Let's see if we have any chests to open. We do. Let's open these. Okay. Alright. Hopefully we're getting some items for some of our better stuff. I do need to look into how I could build a team, guys. So if you guys do play this game, please help me build a team. Because I know it's an early game and it's probably like very different on the later stages of the game. Alright, let's get that going. Alright. It's also like if we have a loader like this, tank, support, damage, like we gotta figure out how to build a great team. So after all the so we gotta finish like all that. Right. Okay. Well, I do want to check. I think we literally just need all the characters though. Let me view map. But yeah, so at the time of that, there's a video walkthrough, but like the video walkthrough is literally like hours long. It's like, bro. I mean, it goes through a lot, and it's a 2025 game, but it goes through a lot of like the characters. Then we got him, we now have other challenges. Get chests, get other things. That is good, but I think we're gonna probably get both these rows, and we probably honestly have to work on getting the other rows going too. Let's just see how it goes. Yeah, I gotta look into more of like guides for the game and like how to build a team and stuff. Cause for formation 101, terminology 101, tanking 101. Let's go with tanking 101. Let's see what tanking 101 says. It goes, welcome to tanking 101. Basic introduction to tanks and how to use them. This was intended to help answer really basic questions your players have about champ roles. It is not intended to be a definite guide. As such, we will touch the following questions. What is a tank anyways? Why should I use a tank? Why not just use someone else? What is overwhelm? What is the health upgrades? What is health share or ramping bonuses? What is damage reduction? What is shields? How important is healing? What does using multiple tanks help? Here are exceptions to regard to tanking and leveling. Alright, I'll be right back in 2 seconds. I'm gonna get something to drink because my throat is dry. Alright, sorry guys, I am back. I need to get a drink because I think I'm getting a little sick right now, but hopefully I don't. We'll do some of the upgrades. Yeah, we got our characters going. Well, this is our, well, I need to fix it. That's the current tank because he is the only one tanking and supporting. So he is our main. Okay, let's go through all of that. Let's go through all of that. So first, I would say let's put maybe like this. Well, this one, I mean, she has like all these rows and he upgrades damage a little bit. Okay, let's go back to the Tanky 101 guide. Once you grasp these topics, you should have information you need to push deeper in adventures via proper use of tanks. Let's dive into it. Basic part. I think you could honestly push through a lot of early game stuff without even knowing what a tank is and what stuff is like that, but we shouldn't do that. Tanks are champion roles. Tanking pretty straightforward, not necessary. This game always has exceptions when it comes to tanking. Here are multiple, however, looking at role tag and champions UI for tanking is a good place to start. Almost all tanking champions are going to have a tanking role noted. The other thing you look for is in champions UI is overwhelm number. Where is the overwhelm number? Is it one of these? No. Background. Overwhelm is 20. We'll get into this more in a bit, but generally you're looking for an overwhelm at least 15 to use them as a tank. Okay, so that's overwhelm. So his overwhelm is 5, so that's not a tank. Hers is also 5, so not a tank. His is 20, so tank. His is 5, and hers is 5. And if we change to what? Can I see the other swaps? His overwhelm is 5 as well, and this one's overwhelm is also 5. That's interesting to see. Oh, bro. No way I took him out for thing. Let's do some upgrading though, because I'll push it a little further down the line. Okay. Alright, let's get through all that. Okay, guys. So anything over 15 is good. If a champ has both, of these, they're likely viable options for tanking information. What do you mean both? Okay. Why should I use a tank? Why not just use someone else? Any champ can take a hit or two from an enemy if they're placed in front column. Formation, however, most champions have a very little health, thus fall down. Go down pretty quickly. Champs with the taking role tend to build in. Okay, look at that mouse. Tend to have an ability that shares some of the health with the rest of the party, allowing the entire formation to survive better against AoE damage. Additionally, good tank role. No. Wait. Yeah, okay. Additionally, good tanking role tends to also have abilities increase their ability in some way. They also have the add formation overwhelm stat. All these things work together to make a tank a better option to put in the front line formation, getting beat on by enemies. Let's get deeper into these attributes. So right now, like, technically we have only one tank available right now, so we should try to like these also I don't really get which one to do. Increased effective rally. What I do want to put our hand down here though, so it starts like, if we put in individual ones, but then we just need to put it generally. Right. Just need to apply it generally to everything. Why should I use a tank? Why not just someone else? We read that one. Oh, what are health upgrades? These are pretty straightforward when you're leveling up tanks alongside the ability and damage upgrades. They're also just straight up health increases. The higher you level the tank, the larger the health increase. For example, the first tank you unlock in the game is Nal. She has both buffing specialization, vengeance, and tanking specialization, devotion. Well, she gets some health upgrades in both specializations. She gets much more health overall, along with her health share ability in her tanking specialization. At level 130, she gains an upgrade of 90 health in vengeance specs versus 125 health in division specs. It doesn't sound like much, but max level is 12,600 with that bird. No upgrades. Oh, I don't like this one, which I think we do use this one. Okay, it's good to have an idea of what we're doing though. So it just has like tanking have, unlike most other champs, tanking champs will usually have feats that raise their total health by percentage. That's actually pretty good. What is health share? I would imagine they just share health with all of them. So a champ and health share ability can be specific to them. Ability itself, this is a really long guide. me see something actually. Oh, never mind. Okay. There's a lot of introduction guides. Righty. We need to read through a lot of the guides. I just want to see what the tanking was, but it's pretty self-explanatory. A tank is a tank. Now we need to get to like formations and builds. A tank is a tank, and obviously we could look through it. But knowing that like having an overwhelm number that's higher gives us an idea of like which one is the perfect tank. It's actually pretty nice to have, because that gives us a perfect idea to what we could do. Okay. So let's see any other thing we should look over. The health share. What is overwhelm? That's all we should read. This health share is like pretty basic. It shares health through everyone. An overwhelmed champion takes more damage from all enemies based on number of enemies attacking them. This is over the specific overwhelm number. Most champions have overwhelm level 5, while tanking tends to be 15 or above. This means tanks can tank more enemies at one time before they start taking bonus damage when hit. Champions will take 10% more damage per hit for every enemy attacking them once they reach their overwhelm number. This should be advantage. So, okay. So now we know in the sense that if they are like powerful, we should go for the idea that they might be powerful and we should probably like step away from it a little bit. What is damage reduction? Okay, so so a tank with 15 overwhelm that is tanking 25 enemies should be taking 250% more damage per hit. Unlike most other champions, tanking champions usually have a feat or two that raise the overwhelm point, allowing them to take normal damage from more enemies at once. Okay, that's good to know. That we're only at level 14, guys. I was gonna do like a break, but we might go through a lot of like guides and stuff, so we might not take a break. We might just go straight through guides and read up on all the guides. So this is gonna be like a very informational video, but if you guys like the video and content, please like, comment, subscribe. So I'm gonna forget to say that if I don't say it now. So overwhelm is like overall I could tank majority, or his overwhelm level is really good, so it would tank over like other stuff, if that makes sense. It would take 25 people or 20, and then after 20 it can't tank any more than that. It's really what I'm getting out of it. That's also really good to know. Okay, that's overwhelm. What is damage reduction? Long health upgrades and health sharing. Some tank champions have ability to give them more survivability. Okay, I mean that's pretty basic. But is there a specific stat or specific specialty? It's also through specialties. Let me upgrade. Go through specialties. There's specialties, formation buffs, feats. Don't have feats unlock. How do we see their specialties? Background, upgrade. What is a specialty? It's not my question. Okay, it doesn't matter though. What are shields? Other champions protect themselves and others temp HP / shield. Well, the shield is. Wait, none of our guys have shield right now. The shield is a thing I noticed before. How important is healing? Well, we're talking about champs using healing roll. We may as well address healing in terms of survivability. Usually healing is going to come from other champ, but in some cases the tank may be able to heal themselves. The lower level healing can be quite sustaining in terms of keeping a tank up in face of overwhelming odds. However, the higher levels, it acts as more of a delayed damage reduction, saying the amount of time a tank can still survive to a point. At a certain point, enemies will start hitting you for more health than you have, in which case healing doesn't help. Also, healing is a good thing for like lower levels, and then once you get to higher levels, kind of falls off. Is what it seems like. That's good to know, though. So healing isn't as important. To be clear, this is how healing is supposed to work in the current version of the game. Healing is not supposed to get your life forever. You're supposed to die when facing strong opponents or overwhelming numbers. Progression in the game is gated on survivability in the way instead of DPS. Way back before shielding healing, the game limited progression via DPS, and you should get stuck on levels able to progress, but without dying. You could spend hours pointlessly alive while AFK getting no gold, and it was horrible. In the current system, you're supposed to die when you're gone too far and naturally fall back to the level. Okay, so that makes sense. What is ramping bonus? Okay, that's something we should use. We should look into, actually. Bam, bam. See, this bird is a new one, right? His overwhelm is 5, so not a tank, but you also see his DPS as support role. We could look through that as well. We could also switch him through other characters. What other characters? This one is Overwhelm. Overwhelm 5, and it's support control. I think we did look through the characters on this one, or no? It doesn't give us an overwhelm. I mean, it says male 5. Is that what the overwhelm is? 5 natural, 25 wizard, DPS. You can see DPS role also. So it kind of gives us an insight on what it is already. Okay. What is ramping bonus? Let's see what this one is, because this one might be interesting. Okay, Okay. Well, survivability abilities are important feature of tanking repertoire. Usually, that's not all tanks has to offer. They tend to also come with abilities that ramp up the party damage based on factors like numbers of enemies attacking them, the number of in-range stack active. Make sure everything's good working. Okay, stack active and other markers of champs might place on enemies. The ramping bonus helps to prevent you with damage when facing difficult fights. Nice, we're actually pretty far or long already. Let me unlock this guy before anything. This one, let's see. Yeah, he's over almost 5. I thought he looks like a tank in my head. This is DPS support. This is DPS support. DPS support debuff control. DPS debuff control breaker. Okay. These ramping bonuses help prevent you with more damage in facing difficult fights. If you can't live long enough to take advantage of them, deep pushes tend to rely on these bonuses and the survivability of your tank line for the power. Need to progress further. So we're not like I think our only main tank is this guy, so we technically have to use him for literally ever until we get another tank. Which makes sense. Does using multiple tanks help? There are scenarios where you're going to have multiple tanks. The clear one is when there are multiple formation slots in front of the nearest enemies. You're going to want a tank in each of those, if possible, as a tank line is also as strong as the weakest link. However, you also want to use multiple tanks in fights where your party is taking AoE damage, having multiple health sharing abilities. Okay, so that makes sense. So in this one, we want to have 2 tanks. And if we have like, you're taking a lot of damage from the backsides, like these guys are taking damage for whatever reason, it wouldn't be a bad thing to put them up as tanks as well. Or put them higher as tanks as well, if that makes sense. Okay. Are there any exceptions regarding tank/tanking? Of course, this game is all about exceptions. Most of the shenanigans that happen in the game happen due to exceptions. In terms of tanking, these exceptions lie in champs that have unusual abilities. Let's look at an example. Artemis, this champ is a DPS champ with 5 overwhelm, but not usually what you want as a tank. However, they have an ability, observe effect, on other champs, including some tank-related effects, and mitigate them on themselves. This can allow Artemis to observe things like temp, HP, shield, and overwhelm modifiers. survivability on par or greater than some tanks. However, while this makes him very survivable, he provides no ramping bonus while tanking enemies. So there is, I guess, some tanks that aren't really considered tanks, according to like what that is saying, which kind of makes sense. In example, you create a durable champ to tank if necessary, but the trade-off is you don't get the usual damage bonus you might get from actual tanking champ. The other notable exception is truly exception Al. True, this champ is a support champ. With Firearm, he has 0. So there's a couple other heroes that are possible tanks. So that's good to see. That's good to know. I want to go through like the wiki entries. A lot of these are interesting. So, let's go for terminology. Let's go through terminology. That way we have an idea of what we're doing. All terms added new ones. Okay. So this update was updated January 20th. Which is actually good that it gets updated consistently because I wouldn't have known what I'm doing. We're also pushing to level 25, so we should be around like 25-minute mark. Every level is like a minute pretty much. This game is like a long game. Like I could probably play 3 or 4 hours straight. This might be a game we play on stream, like solo stream. Considering doing it if I ever decide to do a solo stream. Most likely I won't do solo streams though, but we'll see. How have you guys been liking the streams though? Let me know in the comments because we're trying to play multiplayer-ish games. It doesn't have to be idle version games. It could be multiplayer games of anything. Okay, but let's go through. Okay, so this is just like okay. These are just phrases I should probably. That's a lot of phrases. That is kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't think I know all of these phrases. Let's skip the terminologies portion of it. Because that's kind of insane. Okay. Formation Strategy 101. This is good because we want to build our own formation. Because yes, we could copy one, and yes, we could try to unlock a lot of heroes. But in most cases, we are not going to be able to unlock everything on our own. Or have everything that is required, or if a specific build requires this champ and we don't have it, we can't like go ahead and do that, so we have to kind of like build our own, at least until we are able to find our way, if that makes sense. So this is updated also January 20th. This post is intended to help answer really basic questions new players have about the system. It's not intended to be definitive guide. Okay, so what is formation anyways? How many formations are there? Why you should build your own formation? Why not use someone else's? What is slot in formation and how they counter the term and distance from champs? What is column? What is column? Okay, so we're gonna look into what we need to do. What is formation anyways? Formation is a term for both visual layout, how the champions are allowed to group in a campaign, and the term of how many players are grouped in their champions given formation, which is confusing. I feel your pain, however, this point CNE. CNE is one of the terms. I have to use a term in game to describe the layout. The community use of the term describes the champ setup. So we're kind of stuck with it having a double meaning. For the purpose of the guide, we're going to differentiate the two via capitalization. Okay, so that doesn't matter. How many formations are there? To answer your question, changes fairly regularly. Each primary champion has its own unique formation. Some adventures vary. So we know that already, kind of thing. Why should build your formation? I kind of did read that before. What is a slot formation? How are they counted in terms of distance? Okay, let's read that one. Let's actually buy a lot of stuff here because we actually have a good amount of money. here. Doesn't think he does much, anyways. Yeah, but that's it on that one. Okay, formation. It's a lot. Okay, so we kind of understand what this means. It's kind of just like, it's kind of the formation of the air. Let me skip through all this. Blabbing. It's kind of just like these little circles is what a formation is. What is a column? So column is like the row. Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Well, maybe 5 columns. So there's one more in the back here. Yeah, I think we have 5 columns. We just have one slot in the 5th column. Top, back top, top, front top. Yeah, 0. Okay. This is explaining like what formations it is. And then there's a whole informations. Okay. That's not all. Okay. We don't really need to know all of this. If, for example, but I mean, it isn't something crazy to go over. The formations, we're done with formations. We did tanking, base build damage. Okay, that is an interesting one. Because this refers to DPS. And we should be looking towards our DPS characters. This is where I could increase health and stuff. Like, if I want to do that with tanks. What is the base DP? Okay, so this was intended to help answer really quick questions new players have about the system. It's not intended to be definitive. So it's always like the same thing. As such, we'll touch on the following questions. What is DPS anyways? What is DPS? What is base DPS a lie? Why is base DPS a lie? This is running average. Better look at what is actual BUD. What is BD? Business spiking. Once you understand this above, you should have information needed to start making informed decisions for yourself, judging the power of champions, changing information from better progression, and manipulating BUD for progress. So we have that now in our idea. So let me go through some of these upgrades really quick. Okay, but don't take my word for it. It looks like the testimony from Discord about the power of BUD. What is DPS anyways? Your base DPS is calculated, done for your group based on agreement of formation and buffs applied due to arrangement. So you put champions into the formation, upgrade them, move them around, swap them with other champs in the game. Those calculations in background to tell you what your base possible. I mean, in reality, I think we need to move. Well, like this one probably potentially move there. Hold up. And potentially move this guy here. And honestly, could probably do that, but okay, I guess I go back. And we put this one here. No, we go back. Put this one here. Nope, put it back. And if I put this one back here. Actually, I guess that is the formation we want to have. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to move it around just to see how our damage loadout looked like. But honestly, it didn't seem like a better loadout anyways. Okay. So DPS is just when we move our range stuff, and this is this DPS base, and we can see our breakdown on who's doing the most damage. So we have 99.7% of damage is being done by this guy right here, which is like insane, but it makes sense. What has changed these around? Well, that's even more crazy damage. Just yeah, that's perfect. Let's leave it like that then. Why DPS is a lie? Base DPS is a lie because it doesn't take into account numerous factors that affect DPS in game. Okay, I kind of figured that's a thing too, because it makes sense for it to be a thing. Move themselves to, okay, we already said that. Enemies number multiplied based on dynamic ability buffs that can be changed every second, debuffs applied to enemy, etc. Base that, okay, so basically It's just if there's any other, like, this is like the base damage, but there's also could be other added damage or lesser damage depending on how the like what debuffs and buffs we're getting at the time. So that's good to know as well. I mean, it's not the biggest deal, let's say. It's good to know. Alrighty. Is running average better to look at? It's better than DPS, base DPS. That's for sure. The running average or average DPS is moment to moment look. Can we change this? Remember positions. That's actually a good thing to probably go with. Okay. Yeah. So how do we check that? How do you recommend going to settings and changing DPS display to average DPS so your formation changes positions? Oh, so settings. Settings. Display. How do I change that? DPS display. Oh, there's Twitch drop, bro. Interface. DPS display. Average. Wait, it does change our stats. Did they change that? Huh. That's interesting, actually. That's actually interesting. So this guy, Hitch, changed for this one, which was DPS. This was a support. So we're using Hitch, but him there is fine, I guess. Start doing some more upgrades though. Yeah, that seems like a good place to chill a little bit. Why is running average better? Yeah, I highly recommend using King Sons. However, because of the way it weighs prior averages more than most recent damage output, you have to make changes and then wait a bit to see how the changes. Oh, so if I change these out like that, I'm gonna have to wait with how the changes happen. Something. So now it's at 646. Let's see if I change this back here. Does it go up a little bit? Oh yeah, it did for sure. There's also a few bugs in the game that make average DPS wholly inaccurate. Which would love just use Bud. What exactly is Bud? Bud stands for the base ultimate. Oh, we're starting a tree right now. It's crazy. We got a lot of upgrades to do though, so let's get these upgrades going. Looks like we're gonna be able to beat this tree. Oh, the shield is the yellow part. Now we have shield. Why were the champions give us shield? Okay. That stands for base ultimate damage. This is the game used to calculate the base damage of both ultimates and fire breath potions using damage calculation. It looks like the higher damage hits done by your champion against a single enemy, including all applicable debuffs. And some quick math, utilize that damage divided by your champion's attack speed calculator. Okay, so that's actually a lot more complicated to try to look into. Well, not try to look into, but try to like what's it called? Try to get into it. Try to get in with it. Alright. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's actually not bad to so now we just need to try to make more money. We're actually almost done beating the area. Once you have everything, talk about its reference to pushing your wall and going maximum damage is by manipulation. Okay, so that's completely different. Let's go back to more guides. Items. Okay, let's go to items. Okay, this guy was updated pretty. This post is intended to answer all real basic questions and answer new players about item system. It's not intended to be okay. As such, it touches following questions: what are items? How do you get items? What does level mean on by item? How do you determine item rarity? What does shiny/gold mean? Gilding. How do you add a legendary effect? What are pigments and how do you use them? Okay, so these are questions I have in general because we do have items, right? I believe these are items, or maybe we have more. But these don't last forever. I think they're just 5-minute stints, 10, 15 minutes, 1 hour. Which, yeah, might be a good idea to use them. That's not what we wanted to do. We could brew potions. I need to farm something to brew. Enhance to potions. Okay, so that's interesting. But if we don't need stuff like that, then that's also fine. We don't have to force ourselves through pushing through that. There's no reason to do that either. Rules of this guide. Items are specifically the things automatically equipped by the champs that make them more powerful. Normally you'll call these gear. Oh, that's what it means by items. I thought it was talking about like the potions. That's probably a different guide. Whoops. Well, we went to the wrong route, but we got to the right position. Pets equipped and champs that make more powerful. Normally they'll be called gear. Battle champs include things like chairs, and pets as equipped items. So it's safer to refer to them as items. Prevent confusion. Also, the game makes reference to item levels often, so it's good to use similar wording to explain things so people don't get confused. When you start the game, you'll have 0 items on your champion. And even adding just 1 item to a champion can make it more powerful. And the base version items also do things like add multipliers to a champion's ability. That's good. That's what we know. So when we looked at this guy, we have items that are already leveled. Base effect increase from eye levels. It's only level 2. Like this one gets an increase from the levels. I don't know if you have a character that has a lot of items right now, but I think we kind of have a figured idea how that helps. Did I open all the chests? I think I forgot to open one. Yeah, we got some gold. We got an item. That's good. With gold, we could do a lot of upgrades though. We should open those chests and we're a little bit further on in the levels, I guess. Okay. I'll just go with the first one. Then we'll unlock our last, which this guy is Trill, which I think I could put him as a tanker. I think. I mean, right now we don't think it really matters. But we do need a second tank probably at some point. Like I said, we're gonna push through a lot of the levels without even having to worry because we're also not in a position to have an actual real build. So it makes sense. How to get items. The primary delivery method of items out champs is via chest, silver, common, uncommon, rare items. Electrium, common, uncommon, rare, gold, uncommon, rare. So those list a bunch of chests. Regular silver and gold chests can be purchased in gem store. They also have both a drop chance of bosses when you kill them while progressing through adventures. platinum chests can be purchased for real money in store outside of the earning chests in game or buying them. Real money can also get the codes from D&D idol champion streams, podcasts, etc. These can be kind of chests, but generally electrum chests. Addition of so pretty much just watch content on the game and you can get some free chests. We don't have that right now because obviously we're not like a big YouTuber, but maybe eventually if we honestly stay to learn to play the game and have you guys help us build with stuff. Because honestly, if you guys help me build and progress to the game, that's honestly the better thing that could happen. But right now, like we're grinding out the levels. We're almost done with the mission technically, and we probably will start the next one once we completely like aren't able to progress. But yeah, with the addition of new collections and quests and guide quest systems and various chests are also now rewarding for completing these quests. There are main difference in chests in the game. I'm not going to list them all, but there are more something different regular chests. Generic gold, silver, fine, and gem store. Let me click through that. So you get out of that. Let me get that one going. Okay. What does level mean in item? Once you earned your first item, you'll see the colored, bordered, and level. They're separate things, so I'm going to explain them separately. Your item level is one way your item determines its power. Item starts at 1 and goes up from there every time you increase your item level. Well, can we beat this guy? Looks like we could beat him. Let me do some abilities though. Okay, yeah, not too bad. We destroyed him there. Okay. Your item level is one to determine the power. Okay. You can increase your level by using blacksmith contracts or by looting duplicates of an item. The more you play, the more duplicates you'll receive. The system lets these duplicates help you out as you progress instead of just being pointless loot. You can also target specific champion to gain items levels on by using blacksmith contracts, allowing these focus increase their power. Most players tend to use blacksmith contracts only on event champions, as it's more hard to level up their items via opening chests than core/evergreen champs. So, let me continue until we can't go any further. So we finished the quest. We are gonna have the champ unlocked now, but I want to see. Oh, this is a tank. So I want to switch to this one. She's a tank. Let me add her to the tanking line. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. So we just gotta keep getting more and more and more over time. How do you determine item rarity? There are now multiple ways to determine the rarity. The rarity increases power, important to recognize the most. The most people use via its color, however, there are also hash marks on the top left of the item card that indicates rarity, as well as different amounts of gems based on center of them cards. Common white, uncommon green, rare blue. So it just has a little hash mark on there. So we could look into like this one. So these are blue, which is rare. Epic, legendary, purple. So we do have one purple, which is for this one, which is actually pretty nice. And what can we do with these? Current. So we could like do this. Following bonuses. Okay, that's good to know too. Let's keep leveling these guys up. Okay, your base rarity types up types go from common to uncommon to rare to epic ascending, or and each upgrade multiplies the power. So it just gives you more power, which is pretty good. Legendary effects are only obtainable via the Legendary Forge. Okay, that's a different whole guide for Legendary Forge. I don't think we're gonna have that for a while. What does shiny slash golden meaning gilding? If you get lucky enough to loot a silver card, congratulations yourself. They're very rare loot items that take your normal item slot and make it shiny. That's interesting. Let me do some upgrading though. 47. Yeah, I mean, we're still pushing through the levels. That's why I'm like, let's not give up, because we also gain gems like these, and we also gain other stuff too, not just gems. 57. Make clear, your item slot itself is now shiny and will stay unless it becomes golden, which is custom when shiny is different than item rarity. You can have a rarity and have it be shiny. Rarity is one bonus to the power of the card, and shiny is another. You can also get shiny in other ways like potions and polish. Okay, so we want to try to get that $10 for something. Okay, how do you add a legendary effect? Effects are now obtained via the legendary forge. Completing trials, earning rewards. Okay, so that's different. What is pigment and how do you use them? As yet another way of adding power to champion item. Nulls, very marvelous pigments are added to game consume that can target epic items and add a new effect to them. These okay, so is that what we mean by like this? Oh, Forge Legendary? Is that what we mean by this? Yeah, this is Legendary Forge, so we have anything that's like rare, because this guy also has a rare one too. Okay, so that we should look into that if we had any, but we don't have any of what's it called? Those scales. Okay, let's keep it going. We could probably survive a good amount at this point. Just gonna say that right now. Yeah, happy with the recording so far, guys. It's just a very informational video. We're gonna make it very informational. We're 52 minutes into it. Honestly, we might go a little further in this recording, just because it makes sense. And it also still didn't even beat this, like get to their maximum point in this level. We could retreat whenever we want to, but it's better to go higher because we gain more stuff, right? So in general terms, I'm gonna keep playing this until we are at the highest point possible. So let's look at the Legendary Reforge, what it does. What is Legendary Forge? The Legendary Forge is a new in-game system to upgrade Epic Gear to Legendary and grant it a new added effect. It ties in with Trials of Mount Tiamat in that one of the currencies involved comes as a reward of completing trials. When you complete a trial campaign, you earn Tiamat scales, which is consumed by forging process. What does Legendary Gear do? What does Legendary do for gear? Upgrading an item, Legendary adds an additional effect to the item. The effect still exists, but now it does even more. You can only upgrade an epic item, so you have to get there first. Once you are, then you can spend skills to forge into Legendary. That's actually pretty good to know. How do you Legendary Forge gear? Once you have completed trials campaign and earned element skills, you head to the Legendary Forge via clicking the button in Adventure UI. Oh, looks like an anvil, so we know how that ends up working out, right? We already have a base idea now. So that's good to know. We would have one more space for one more champ. But we're actually progressing pretty nicely. We'll see what happens when we have another boss. They haven't really done anything. Okay. You can blah, blah, blah. Once you spend skills to forge into legendary. Okay. How do you forge? How do you forge gear? Oh, we read that one. The anvil. What if I get an effect I don't like? You can reforge the item to try for another effect. If you have only reforged once, you'll be guaranteed to get one of the remaining 5 effects. The next time you'll reforge, you'll get one of the remaining 4. Once you've reforged into each effect once, it then be randomly. Which okay, so this works like getting variants in time gate. Okay, so I mean it's alright. We just want to get the. We just want to try to keep the ability we get, I suppose. If that makes sense, we don't want to rush too far to get something crazy. Okay, but like I said, that makes sense though. Okay. So we can change the effects. Can you level up legendary items? Yes, you can. Spend the combination of skills to find favor to upgrade legendary items. Define favor requires to level up the item randomly, assign them to your forge legendary, and change them when you reforge. The divine favor cost is in an order of magnitude of your total, otherwise referred to E01 of your total favor. You can still level up regular item effect. Yes, you can still. Okay, that's good to know. Achievements for legendary forge. Those are achievements. Potential legendary bonuses. I guess we don't really need that specific area right now. What are pigments and how do you use them? That's another thing. Another way to adding power to a champion. Okay, so that's what we saw. For example, pure support gems apply support pigments in their epic item, but the pure DPS champions cannot. However, DPS support champions apply support pigments. How do you get those though? Pigment DPS support. So yeah, which is our most stacked. Like, I guess let's go for like this one or the other one because these are like the most stacked ones. I mean, whatever. Nadia, above mission, you have information for the. Okay, so that's it for that one. So that was items. Consumables. These are the ones that are the potions. These are the ones I don't think I really care to look much deep into. Not because they're not important, but more because I feel like there's other things that are probably more valuable to get out of the guides than that. But portions are like here, and it's pretty basic. But there's ways to like add them. That's why it's like we might as well. 15 minutes. Like some of them are like very long lasting. It's until the adventure is complete. Oh, like these higher ones are until the adventure is complete. These are only like 5-minute increments. We want to get last until adventure complete, really, right? It's like a good one to have, and those potions are probably good ones to also have when we like farm for certain stuff. Okay, how do I get consumables? For most part, consumables are obtained by opening chests over. Okay, all the chests. Group chests providing some consumables as well as items. However, supply chests provide only consumables. You can also obtain consumables as a part of platinum purchase. Okay, shop. Okay. Event, and you can as a reward during certain special events, and you can also purchase them consumables in the shop. Okay, so you can purchase them too. You can also now craft potions in the Avatar curl. I don't know how to pronounce that. This is like probably the last guide we're going to. The next video we'll go into more guides when we do more like levels like we are now. Let me do some upgrading now. Push all those upgrades like that. Okay. What does different rarity mean? Okay, so these are the consumables. We could craft them. I kind of want to see how we do that. Oh, what's the difference between rarities mean? White, green. So the same thing like we usually see, like the rarity goes up as it goes up, and we can clearly tell which one's which. So These are the potions we've gotten so far, which doesn't really matter, to be honest. Because either way, we're gonna get higher and higher. Certain silver, chest provide low rarity consumables. Okay, so that's whatever. How do potions stack? All potions have multiple rarity stacks to work together. Most work as multipliers, such as each other, while one is additive and the one type has a max amount it can stack to. Using multiple of the same rarity only adds time to the duration. As such, you cannot use more than one epic potion at a time. Okay. So, yeah, so we use them whenever we want to use them. There's different ones. How do potions specializations work? Use functions allowed to especially of a champion after already having chosen one of the early adventures is when the thing they just favored enemy. Okay. How do pigments work? Okay. How do gilded potions work? A potion polish allows you to turn a chosen item slot on a specific champion you own from a normal to shiny. Is that like temporary? Champ damage, gold fine, champ health, click damage, speed bonus. What other potions is there? If I do one, yeah, let's do one of these. Let's just do one. Let's just do it and see what it does. So, bro. Oh, so we could like take one potion, switch it for change it for another one, pretty much. Okay, that's good to know. No more upgrading on this area. Let me look at this champ actually. Okay, so he's also healing support Ironheart or Strongheart. I want to say Ironheart. 15 overwhelms. That's also a tank. This one, 5 overwhelm, not a tank roll. Support. Okay, I'll stick with Ironheart because whatever, doesn't matter. Don't think we'll add onto the team anyways as of right now. I think we're gonna keep upgrading other stuff in theory. Okay, we're actually pushing past a lot of levels right now. Like we're not slowing down at all, which is crazy. Okay, how do potions of legendary work? Potion legendary can be applied to an epic item and add a random effect. I don't see those potions. How do black myth contracts work? I don't see those potions yet, so I think we're like kind of like not in the right spot for that. But we're not even like halfway done through the guide. But I think as of right now, guys, I think what I'm gonna do is I think we're gonna finish this up because I'm gonna go to the point where we can't go no more, and then I'm gonna go see if we could like start doing the event in like 7 hours or 6 hours now. But for now, guys, I'll see you all in a bit.